大家好，我们是
L
S
in Asia is what I'm trying to say, not Southeast Asia. So it's interesting to see all these young faces interested in fact checking, and it makes me hopeful for the future. So I'm glad to see you guys today.
Yeah, thank you for
we also appreciate it. So I think we can introduce about ourselves a little bit right now.
And then I'll introduce myself as well.
Okay, thank you. So we're a group of college students and supported by the Ministry of Education in Taiwan. And we are doing this project about the issues of youth. They're losing to believe in themselves when they enter the first job, and they have problems like they don't know how to get into the media literacy, and we want to solve the problems like that. Yeah. And my name is Yuni, and here's my team member.
Yeah, my name is Tiffany.
Hi Tiffany, nice to meet you.
Hi, hello, I'm Sylvia.
Hi Sylvia, how are you? Mark,
Hi.
nice to meet you as well. So that's great. So you guys are working with the ministry, or is your department a part of the youth, a part of the Ministry of Education?
No, actually, we're independent from the Ministry of Education. We are fighting for the.
We're like 5 different college students, and we wanted to do the same thing. So we asked for the support, and we found out, the Ministry of Education is giving support. So we just go and kind of have a founding competition. I don't know, ask for funding. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I call it professional begging.
Professional begging.
Yeah, because my whole life has always been about finding money for the projects I always was interested in and had a passion for, and you always have to find money to support that. So I call it professional begging. Professionally, you're asking kindly for money from organizations.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give us some tips of how to become a more professional beggar.
Well, to be honest with you, you guys continue what you're doing. That's all you need to do. Just keep up the passion. Just keep up, renew yourself all the time. Try to keep up with what's happening around the world. I could tell you honestly, as a person who grew up in a generation that came from, dial-up network. I don't know if you remember dial-up network. I don't think you do. To high-speed internet, to smartphones. I had flip phones. I used to attach cameras to my flip phones to take a picture. It was a very difficult period of our lives. But at some point, as you grow up, technologies do get difficult. I honestly am not on TikTok because it's too much for me. I cannot absorb TikTok's
all
mentality.
this information, right?
It's not even the information, it's the mindset, how people share stuff. It's just too much. So you stop. So don't stop. Try to push yourself further is what I'm trying to say.
I think we should create some values that everyone wants to get into us.
Exactly. And hopefully you guys will figure it out. Hopefully. Let's see.
Yeah. Maybe at the end of this conversation, we can ask for your advice about what we wanted to do in the future.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. So let me tell you guys a little about myself, and then you can start asking me some questions. So I was born and raised in New York City to a Turkish family. And then after my studies were over in the US, I decided to move to where my parents were from, to Turkey. And I lived in Turkey for 10 years. And while I was there, I did my master's. I got introduced to great friends, and it led me to this world of fact checking. There was, political situations in Turkey at that time. There was a lot of protests in 2013-14, and then we decided to found our own fact-checking organization in Turkey. And right now, that organization is still continuing and fighting misinformation in Turkey. But I am now a part of a larger organization called the International Fact-Checking Network. Who is the International Fact-Checking Network, and what do we do? The International Fact-Checking Network became a network when a group of fact-checkers around the world were meeting with each other every year. The first meeting was in London in 2013, and then in 2014 it was in Argentina. In Argentina, we started with 40 people, and in Argentina we had 250 people in this conference. And in this conference, we decided that, okay, we are growing, so we need a body to establish and help with the growth of the community. So the organizations said, okay, let's form the International Fact-Checking Network. And at the International Fact-Checking Network, our first priority was to bring a standard, not a standardization to fact-checking, but an accountability to fact-checking in terms of what fact-checking is holding the person or claim accountable for what the information is being shared. So in that framework, we try to make the organizations within this network accountable to the work they do. So we came up with a code of principles. A code of principles is all the organizations who are in our network are transparent in their methodologies, how they choose and how they fact check. Are a principle on non-partisanship, checking all sides, not only one side, because if an organization or fact checks one side and tries to push one's truth, it means that they are doing propaganda, but I don't want to say that word, so scratch that out of the record. But nevertheless, it is non-partisan. We believe a nonpartisan organization is more appealing to readers. It allows readers to be able to get a picture of the whole entire understanding of what is being fact-checked. In this way, it builds a relationship between the reader and the organization. Transparency in funding and organizational structure. We want our people who read the fact checks in these organizations, we want them to know who is funding them and how they are producing the fact checks. So everything these organizations do is audited. We check if they are abiding by these principles. If they are, they become a part of our family. I don't want to say network, it's more a family because of the way we interact with each other. And today there is 130 organizations, a part of the International Fact-Checking Network, that are signatories to the IFCN Code of Principles. I am not sure if you know the IFCN Code of Principles, but let me just drop a link here into the chat box.
Yeah,
and this way you would be able to look it through. But let me very quickly share my screen with you guys. And can you see my screen now? Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Is it?
So, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Can I ask? Is it like you wanted to show people what is fact checking, and you wanted to take them to some organization that have the correct facts?
That's a good question. Not necessarily. Our organization is not to promote the organizations we work with. It's just to hold the organizations we work with accountable. By holding these organizations accountable, we hope the reader would see that what we are doing is we are not hiding anything, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of news organizations in the world, a lot of politicians in the world that have that, I don't want to say that they're hiding something. That's such a bad way of saying it. It's to build trust with the readership and to hold, powerful individuals accountable by using journalism. So in a sense, in the past, well, this is the same at the moment as well. Investigative journalists are uncovering and showing things that they investigate and they find to be true. So it's kind of like what fact checkers are investigative journalists in a smaller scale, I would say.
Is it like you will check on the organization and then the readers will know, the organizations that you have checked is the correct, it's the true things.
It's a reliable, not true things. It's a reliable organization.
But how do you choose like which organizations you are gonna to reveal to the audience, the reader?
Perfect question, and this is exactly where we are right now.
So thank you.
In order to determine your question, this is what the International Fact Checking Network came up with: a set of principles. So, what are the Code of Principles? The Code of Principles of the International Fact Checking Network is a series of commitments organizations abide by to promote excellence in fact checking. We believe nonpartisanship and transparent fact-checking can be a powerful tool of accountability and journalism. So, how do we determine these organizations is this very thing, right? How do we know that these organizations are doing what we hope they are doing? So, here in the About section, with the commitment to the Code of Principles. So, as I was saying before, Principle 1, we hope to see that each organization is committed to nonpartisanship and fairness. And this is explained, what this means is explained here. A commitment to standards of transparency of the sources. So we want to know where fact checkers get their sources from. Is their sources reliable sources? And if an individual, let's say, your uncle's goes on to one of the websites, sees a claim, what he should be able to do is get the same result as the fact checker through the sources they have shared. If there is a conflicting source, which I'll get to in a moment, then the reader should have an opportunity to reply to the organization and say, hey, there is this source, maybe you have missed out on it. So this allows the reader to be connected with the fact checker, and it also allows the reader to hold the organization accountable for the information they fact check. So it's like a two-way street. A reader, the fact checker is a fact checker, but the reader is also fact checking the fact checker. So in order to do that, we have to promote transparency of the sources. If an organization is not transparent with the sources they use to fact check a claim, then they're not transparent. Then a reader doesn't know where they found their sources. A reader cannot replicate the fact check. So that's the most important thing. So who fact checks the fact checkers? We do. And for us to be able to do that, these principles are very important. Principle number 3 is the transparency of funding and organization, which is what we were talking about a few seconds ago. If I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. Sometimes I go fast, but if you want,
can I just like kind of summary, because my English is not that good, so maybe I can read a little. Yeah, absolutely. So is it like you will check some of the organizations you pick, and then after you check it, and then the audience can also go on the pages you have already checked, and then tell you if you have any mistaken things, kind of like that.
Very close,
So it's
very
like-
close, very close.
Oh,
So what these principles promote, let's say an organization is deciding to become a fact-checking organization, right? Let's say you guys are going to create a fact-checking organization. Now, when you're creating your organization, each organization has its own roadmap, its own mentality. And this framework that we have here, these principles, allows organizations to establish themselves to be able to do what you said. So if an organization abides by these principles, so a reader can, when a reader is reading an article from that fact-checking organization, they know that they are transparent in their sources. So that means the reader can look at the claim and find the same result as the organization has. So we have these principles there for the readers, not for the organizations in a sense, but to promote this type of mentality and to promote, actually it goes to media literacy in a sense. If the sources are there, if a person is able to replicate the fact check, this is a part of growing your own media literacy capabilities, for example.
So it sounds like you create the ability to let the reader can identify the news they get, right?
Exactly. And it also creates
You also create a guarantee, so the organization can say, "Oh, I follow your principle," and then the readers will know they are following your principle, and then they can check if they really require those principles.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So it builds trust, is what you are saying. It builds trust within the organizations. I'm really impressed of how you guys are getting this really quickly. I really appreciate that. You're making my life easier for sure. Okay, so this is principle 3. Principle 4 is a commitment to transparency of the methodology. So in this sense, as you can see here, signatories must explain the methodology they use, research, edit, publish, and correct their fact checks. They encourage readers is the most important thing. They encourage readers to send claims to fact check and are transparent on why and how they fact check what they fact check. So what this is saying is, what are the steps when you are taking to check a fact checking claim, right? Okay, how do you find a claim? Why do you choose that claim? So why did a fact checker choose to fact check Donald Trump when he said, "Drink bleach, it will cure COVID-19," right? Because it is the president who said it. You know what I mean? It is an important figure.
Many people trust it. It's so cool.
Exactly. So, which brings us to another thing, actually. So it is, what Donald Trump said is a public interest, right? It's public interest to the whole world, actually. I don't know if he ever realized he was a world leader, but I don't think he ever realized he was a world leader, but people actually listen to him. And there have been cases in the U.S. where people have drinking bleach, and around the world as well.
That's so weird. Well, I think it's pretty weird.
You wouldn't believe the amount of misinformation around COVID-19 in China, in Taiwan, in India, all over the world. My most favorite one is in India, where they drink cow urine to cure COVID-19.
What?
No.
Because cows are sacred animals in the country. They don't eat cows.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So some people think that they have healing powers. I don't know. So this is exactly what we're trying to do. So the public interest. We want our fact-checking organizations to fact check public interest fact checks. That's why we have this clause in there. We don't want them to fact check. This is a great example. Let's say there is a claim that says Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player, has no tattoos on his body, right? Do you think honestly, is this important for your life? Is it important for you to know if Cristiano Ronaldo has tattoos or not?
Well, if he is my idol, maybe I will want to know. But if I don't really know him, and it's not my business.
And we don't care about it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the boys might, care about it, but it's still not important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had fact checkers who fact checked this, and I was like, that's not public interest. I don't really care. Nobody really cares. And by the way, Cristiano Ronaldo does not have any tattoos on his body, which is crazy. That's a whole different point. It's interesting that he doesn't have any tattoos on his body, but it's not a public interest, right? So for organization,
meaningful, right?
Exactly. Actually, it has to be in public interest, I would say, even more. The claims that organizations should be fact checking are not magazine claims, but more public interest driven. You could have a fact checking organization that's only dedicated to celebrities, sports athletes, anything like that. Of course you can, but that's a whole different thing. So this is what this principle promotes. It promotes the transparency on how organizations choose what to fact check and how to fact check. And the most important thing is, let me just show you that. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. One second. Public. All right, here we go. Here the statement is. The corporate principles, predominant institutions and widely circulated claims related to public interest issues is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your question again?
Oh, I wanted to ask, like, these principles, it's for you to screen the organization, also for the organization to follow, and also for the readers to double check. Is it like this?
Exactly. It's a circle.
Awesome.
Exactly. And I'm going to get to the process how we figure out they're doing this in a moment.
Oh, like who can be the checker and then kind of like this?
I'll get there. Give me a sec.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost there.
Take your time.
Principle 5 is a commitment to open and honest correction policies, which means, let's say we want the organization to tell us if when there is a mistake or they need to make a correction, how they make these corrections on their websites, right? Also, we want organizations to have a complaint section on their website so readers can say, hey, I think you're wrong, and here is why I think you're wrong. So this is that circle that you're talking about. Sorry, that's my cat.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, he wants to go outside and he's not allowed to go outside.
Because of the COVID?
No, he there's a lot of birds and squirrels in the courtyard, and he goes crazy and he's always in the house, so I'm scared to leave him. I don't want to lose him. It's fear, actually.
So dangerous out there.
Exactly. So it's that circle that you were talking about before. This way, or people could, talk to these or say, hey, I read this article, but okay, I see your point, but if you use this source, and I share the source, it shows that what you said might be incorrect, might support the fact check, it might make it better, or it could totally make the fact check wrong. So then what happens when a fact checker is wrong, right? So they need to have this corrections policy in order to correct what they had wrong. So this whole process is totally transparent in a sense.
Yeah.
We try to build this ideal world around the code of principles. Does it always work? Of course it does not. We try to enforce it as well as we can. But having these principles there is a start for this utopic world. And hopefully one day when you guys are older, this utopic world will be better for you.
I think this is pretty. It's like the corn 扩充功能, you know. Sorry, Chinese.
Expand.
It's like expand stuff, and you can put it on your Google, right? And you can check it, like the ad blocker, something like that.
Oh yeah.
I see what you mean. This is not that. We do have organizations who have developed extensions on Google Chrome to detect false news within articles. Yes, there are extensions like that. And there are a lot of our, I'll get to that in a moment. Let me get to that in a moment.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That's a very valid question, and it's good that you asked that, because after I'm done with this section, I'm gonna tell you guys about what else we do at the IFCN, and that's exactly what I'm gonna be talking about next. So you're always on the right track, which is great.
Thank you.
So now that we know the principles, how do we enforce the principles to the organizations, right?
Yeah.
So the process is, if an organization wants to become an IFCN signatory to the Code of Principles, they have to be eligible. They have to meet certain eligibility criteria, right? So the eligibility criteria, eligibility to become a signatory, it must be a legally registered organization, because legally speaking, we cannot work with an organization that is not a legal entity, first of all. We also want the organization to be a legally registered organization so they can be held accountable to the work they do. So it's very important that readers know that the website is a legally registered organization, and it's not a fake news website. There's a lot of like CNN.com, not com or con. You know what I mean? There are a lot of fake websites like that. So they need to be legally registered. Another thing is we do not like to see organizations who are controlled by politicians or political parties or by the government, because we believe these three sections would not allow a fact-checking organization to be non-partisan. If an organization is being run by one of these three, there will always be they would always be partisan of their fact checks, because they will either support their government, they will support the political party or politician. So we do not want any of the organizations to be this way. These are, and there's another one that's not listed there. So in order to apply to the Code of Principles, to be a part of the network, you have to be fact-checking at least for 6 months in countries where we have 5 or less organizations in. So for example, in France, we have 4 organizations. So another organization in France who wants to become in our network has to be fact-checking for 6 months before applying to the International Fact-Checking Network. Why do we want to see this? We want to see this because as a fact checker who started its own fact-checking organization, my day one fact check is not the best, but 6 months later, my fact check is much better than the first fact check I did. We also want to see this growth. We want to see this process the organization goes through. It's like the way we learned to write, right? When we started to write in first grade, it was horrible. And then when we got into sixth grade, we were writing complete sentences. You know what I mean? It took us 6 years, but eventually we were able to do it better.
To make it more suitable to your principles.
Not suitable to our principles, but more like
more correct.
Mature is the word. Yeah. Like you guys, like when you were 16, 14, you are different than not the way you are now, right? You react differently. So
also like very checking your principles, they will become more and more mature.
They will evolve their fact checking. I wanted to say it in the terms of age, but their fact checking will evolve as they go. And like for example, our fact checking organization, we only started with fact checking only politicians at first, and our fact checks were not long, but they were not short. And then we decided to bring a different angle to our fact checking. We started to focus on issues, not only politicians, but issues. So we brought a different type. So it's a growing evolution of the way you publish your work. So this is the reason why we wanted to have that range. Okay, that being said, what organizations then have to do is apply to the International Fact-Checking Network. And there's 31 questions when they apply. And once you sign into the system, you'll see everything, of course. But who is the person who looks at these organizations, right? Like in Taiwan, if an organization in Taiwan applied to the International Fact-Checking Network, do I know anything about Taiwan? No. I don't know why Taiwan and I mean, I do know why China is in the situation. But I don't know the whole extent of it. I don't know the whole history of it. I don't know it because I have never been to Taiwan or China. I've never really studied it in my life. I know it because I'm a great world news follower. I read a lot, but I don't know what's happening in the country. So
don't know the details about the country, right?
Exactly. So who is the person who knows these details, right? So what we try to do is work with individuals in those countries who have a past in journalism, who have a past in media literacy, who are professors, who are journalists, who know these countries, know these individuals in these organizations. So we work with external assessors to assess the applications. Is that clear?
Yeah, like working with the professionals in those regions.
Exactly. And who chooses the professionals, right? I do, basically.
So how do you know if he is a political person or
I do my own Google search, and I do a whole lot of background search and try to figure out who they are. Most of the time what I do is I ask other assessors, like for example in Taiwan we had in Indonesia we had an assessor who was assessing Indonesian applications, and I said to her one day when our first organization in Taiwan came, because she is in Asia, I said, do you know anybody in Taiwan that knows fact checking? I use our network as well.
Just expand the relationship so you can find one familiar to the country.
Exactly. And of course this doesn't stop there. It's not an interview process, but I send them the details of the applications and everything, and then we talk about it, and I try to understand if the person has totally absorbed the information I said to them. So I want to see if an assessor understands what we're trying to do. Their first application is never pretty. It's always difficult. So I'm holding their hand and helping them along the way, which also develops their way of assessing applications.
Yeah.
So the assessors found the application is assessed. After the application is assessed, we send it to our advisory board members. So step 2 is the advisory board members. We send the application to the advisory board members, and the advisory board members could accept or reject an application. Even if an application is compliant, if everything is good in the organization, the board can say, hey, the assessor missed one thing or two things. Because the board members know the region, they are from each part of the world. So in North America, we have 2 organizations. These board members are our network organizations. So from PolitiFact is an organization within our network. Angie is in PolitiFact. She is in the board. So this board is the organization, the network itself. It's not anybody from outside the network, which also strengthens the ability to grow the network as well. So the board has the final decision of accepting or rejecting an application. Let's look on the bright side and say an organization is accepted to the IFCN as a signatory to the Code of Principles. Great. What happens next, right? You are a part of this network. What does an organization get when they become a part of the network? This is what I'm going to be talking about, what you asked in a few minutes ago. But before that, I want to show you something over here. When you click signatories, you will be able to see all the organizations we work with. So there are some of these names you will recognize very quickly. AFP is one of the world's leading organizations in news checking. I mean, in news anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I searched that before.
Yeah, and these other organizations are from other respected countries. This is the organization I founded in Turkey many years ago. So there's a lot of...
Is this website accessible for us to go?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyone can get access to it?
Yeah, because we found your website under the Poynter. Is it
Poynter.
Yeah.
We're a part of the Poynter Institute. We are inside the Poynter Institute. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. The IFCN is a part of the Poynter Media and Journalism Institute. We are a brand within the organization. So they basically pay our salaries, and we're able to use their journalistic how do I say this? Their journalistic know-how, best practices. There's a lot of great in-house fellows that we always ask questions to. Hey, listen, how can we do this, or what can we do to do?
Like
so
lots of media-related professionals.
Exactly. So it allows us to have more flexibility. So moving on, when you click signatories, you'll be able to see all the organizations over here. And this is the current active organizations, 102 organizations. And when we move down, we have 13 organizations who are renewing their applications. This means 115 organizations are in the network. And we have some expired applications. Every year the organization needs to reapply, because every year we want to see if they have been upkeeping with the principles. Because, X organization can be hijacked by the government, it can be hijacked by a politician. They could close down. So many things could happen within the area. So as you can see, AP, Reuters, they're within our network as well. And one really interesting thing is when you click the organization, you can see all their application. So this is the assessor's conclusion of the application. This is the short summary in the native language. This is the question, for example, question number 1. Can you please provide on your website how you set the information of your organization's legal status? So this is the organization's answer, and then the assessor checked if the information they provided is correct, and the assessor made his comments over here. So all of the applications for all of the organizations are available to the public to even see. So this brings a whole different level of transparency into the process. If we want organizations to be transparent, we have to be transparent in our process and how we have these organizations in the network. So when you click on the profile, you can see where they are, which country they work in, their website, and all of their past applications. So from 2017 to 2021, this organization has been an IFCN signatory. So that's pretty cool to see. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just found that Taiwan have passed your admission. It's called Taiwan Fact Check Center.
Right, Taiwan Fact Check Center is... Ooh.
I don't know, I just found it, but maybe they are out. I don't know. There. Oh yeah.
Taiwan Fact Check Center is there, and I think we have 3 organizations from Taiwan. It's MyGoPen. I'm not sure if you know them. MyGoPen, Taiwan Fact Checking Center. Yeah. Sorry, there's 2 organizations. MyGoPen and Taiwan Fact Checking Center. But in the next 3 weeks, we're going to have 2 more organizations coming in from Taiwan, hopefully. Their application is being assessed at the moment.
Wow. Cool.
Okay, so this is like, you can see who these people are. You like MyGoPen. If you never heard about them, now you can go into their profile and see who this organization is. You could go to their application and see what they have done, what are they doing, and everything like that. So this is a really good website for individual, and it also would allow you to honestly, I would say, work with these 2 organizations if you are thinking about anything about media literacy. The Taiwan Fact Checking Center is a great location for you guys. They have a lot of media literacy programs running in Taiwan as well. So you can contact them. If you're not able to reach them, let me know. I could put you in contact with them.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, no worries.
They're in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go a little bit faster, and hopefully I'm answering some of your questions while I'm speaking.
Definitely.
Perfect. Good.
We understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So
we catch about it, right?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. So is it like these organizations wanted to pass your registers because you got a big resources and you are a very
I'm going to talk about that right now.
Oh, okay.
So no, it's okay. These are very good questions. So why do organizations apply to the International Fact Checking Center, right? There are several things. The most important thing that I always tell the people is, with numbers, you are stronger. If you are one organization, you are not strong. But if you have several organizations working on the same ideals and the same goals, you are creating an environment of professionals who are fighting misinformation. So I think the most important reason why organizations join the network is to be stronger in the numbers. this is what I hope it is.
Oh, like yeah.
And
And
this is what I see as well. Another thing is.
I think all of this big progress, and I think this thing make them different from other organizations, and all the information they gave is the right one.
Yeah. So another reason why organizations would like to join the community is because the amount of people are in the network. We have different types of communication channels, which allows fact checkers to quickly fact check stuff. And our greatest example of that is the Coronavirus Alliance. Let me also share this with you. Give me 1 second. Here is the link. The Coronavirus Facts Alliance. What is this? It is wait a second, where is the numbers? Okay, it says 9,000 fact check. Okay, let me explain this from the beginning. So when the first cases in Wuhan started, my colleague Christina, who is no longer with us, she is not a part of the organization. She did not die. She's alive, thank God. Bless her heart. She said, let's get the fact checkers together. And how can you mobilize this number of organizations if you have a network to mobilize, right? So we have a network over 100 organizations to mobilize to fight against COVID misinformation on the first day. So what we did was we put together the Coronavirus Facts Alliance. And in this alliance, there is 100 fact-checking organizations who are working to input all the misinformation on COVID-19 in their countries. So today we have, this says 9,000, but this is 14,000 at the moment. There's 14,000 fact checks in this database from 70 different countries in 40 different languages. Meaning, this is also this is the misinformation on COVID rise and fall throughout 2020 till today. And when you go into the database, for example, what do you guys want to search?
Vaccine?
Side effects of the vaccine.
Okay.
Okay. Side effects. Vaccine. Vaccine. Let's see if anything comes out. Did I spell it wrong? I'm a really bad speller, guys.
Oh no, we are too.
We are too, yeah. We even pronounce it on the right.
What about the different protect level of the vaccine?
Let's say 1 second.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's say vaccine misinformation, right? Wait, let's choose. Wow, I gotta fix this. There's a lot of but okay, what the hell is going on with that? Anyway, let's select a country. Let's go to Taiwan.
Oh.
Let's go to Taiwan and see what's happening in Taiwan. Search. So in Taiwan, so somebody in Taiwan, in the United States, why does it say United States? What's going on here? Did I do something wrong?
Yeah, but we have a lot of like people in Taiwan. It's having a lot of discussion in this too. In
right.
whether they the vaccine.
the Delta variant is fake news is one thing, right? So so who inputted this? Let's see who inputted this. Let's go to the full article. Check your fact. Okay, check your fact. Check your fact is in the U.S. So is the Delta variant real or not, right? So the claim is it's fake. There is no Delta variant. Okay, that's what they're saying. So when you go to this article, you will see why there is a Delta variant. So to explaining that there is a different type of COVID strain. So this is like, let's search something else. Let's say cows, right? Let's say cows. Let's say cows. Let's say, okay, here we go. In Taiwan, Indian people are cured COVID-19 with steak with cows. So this was fake. This was a misinformation in Taiwan that the Taiwan Fact Check Network Center found. So when we go to it, you can see that it's false. But when you go to the article, you can read about this article in your own language.
They say it's not.
It's not. Yeah, not exact right now.
They found they are spreading the wrong.
Yeah. So they did.
I don't know.
The link is not there anymore. There's something wrong with the link.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to. Let me copy that and paste it over here so I could check on what's going on over there. My luck, I've been choosing bad examples, right? Let me see another one. A video that purported to be that the Indian people were cooking cow's urine and inhaling its steam to cure COVID-19. So let's see if this one is working. This is the one I was telling you about. Right, so this one you can see with people are inhaling the cow urine steam to fix COVID-19, and I don't understand the language. You know the language better than me. So this is, let me close this and go back to what I was trying to say. So in numbers, we were able to create this collaboration, right? The strength of the community is shown through this collaboration. That's one reason why organizations want to join, because there's strength in numbers. The second thing is our communication channels. In our communication channels, I don't have to share my screen anymore. Our communication channels, we have several different communication channels. One for the larger community who are not a part of the network, but are journalists who are fact checkers, individual fact checkers, and they just want to know what's going on in the fact checking world. So in this community listserv, we share best practices, new research on fact checking. If there's any new research developed, what are some good ways of developing your fact check? So there are very useful tools there. We also share events and upcoming news about the IFCN in these lists. And other organizations can send emails to this list, and there's a lively discussion between organizations in these emails lists. So for example, a fact checker in Africa sent a video to this email list and said, guys, I don't know where this video is from. Can you help me? And another fact checker in England said, I live on that block. I was there when that situation happened. So he started to explain to him what was happening there that day. So the fact checker was helping a fact checker from England to South Africa. That's how close this organization, this network is. Moving on, we also offer grant opportunities to organizations to build their capabilities as organizations. So recently we had a collaboration with YouTube. YouTube was able to donate $1 million to us, to the IFCN, and then we spent that. We made a grant opportunity for the network, the organizations in our network, and organizations who work with people in our network. So for example, if we have a grant opportunity in the next few months, you guys can apply to the grant opportunity working with the Taiwan Fact Check Center, because they are in the network, for example, right? So there's a lot of opportunities that we offer. Last year we had 5 different grant opportunities, which was around some $3.5 million or something like that. But we gave it to 70 different organizations within our network to build their capabilities in video making, to hiring health misinformation people, because of the COVID-19 they needed a health expert on their teams and stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunities that we share with the rest of the community. This is another reason why they want to become a part of the community. Another issue is we support we have a legal fund support mechanism. If a fact checker within our community is in a legal situation, we direct them to the organization we work with, who helps journalists and fact checkers to provide them with legal support and to fight the courts in their own countries. Another thing we offer is, well, this is not an offer, but it is the funnest thing for me, and which is the funnest thing for everybody else in the network. Every year we have a global event, and this global event changes from in location every year, and we choose a location based on our organization. So like before COVID-19 hit, we were supposed to be in Oslo, Norway. We were going to go to Norway to have our global event, and in this global events we have series of panels dealing with misinformation issues, covering fact checking and everything. And at night we party. So in the morning we learn, and at night we party. So it's a great celebration for us. And next year we're going to do it in Oslo again, and the year after that we're going to go to Melbourne, Australia. Taiwan is going to be after Melbourne, Australia. So every year well, that's what they're thinking. Let's see. I'm not sure.
They're from Taiwan.
Hopefully. So every year we're trying to figure out where to go, and we also get to see a new place around the world. So
yeah, that's very nice.
In the past, we had these events in London, in Buenos Aires, in Rome, in Cape Town, Australia. We had a small event in Turkey, in Antalya. So every year we're trying to bring a new location. It also adds to our experience personally and as fact checkers. When you are in a different country, you understand what they're going through. So when fact checkers came to Turkey, they were able to understand how the Middle East now works in terms of media and misinformation and stuff like that. So it's also a great learning process for everybody. So that is what we offer to our network people who join this list. This is why they join, because of what we are able to give them.
It sounds like a seminar and people can exchange the idea, information in their country, right?
Exactly. So this is what the International Fact Checking Network is, guys. Now, do you have any questions?
Wow,
okay. Let me see.
Imagine.
Before you guys move, before we move on, I want to show you one thing. Media-wise is another Poynter organization, but they focus on media literacy with young individuals. Okay, and
what's the difference between media literacy and fact checking literacy or news literacy?
That's a I think they're both similar. Media literacy is understanding how individuals approach media, to approach it in a critical way, trying to understand the information that's in front of them. So MediaWise is a great organization because they work with two groups of people that we don't usually think about when we're talking about media and news, right? They have media literacy programs for 55 plus older people and 14 plus younger people. So I want to show you what these teen fact checkers have done. Give me a second. Let me go to the videos over here. Where is this guy? Here he is. There he is. There we go. It's a minute long.
Is that another organization?
MediaWise is another organization within our network. So they created a group of teen fact checkers to make videos on YouTube. Yeah, teenager. They're all high school students. So they have 16. They have a lot of videos. So let me copy the URL. Check these videos out. They're doing a lot of great work.
Maybe we can ask for them to maybe spread their impact to Taiwan. Kind of.
I would talk to Taiwan Fact Check Center first. Because they do a lot of stuff like this as well. This is this is the one. This is the one I want to show you guys right now because it was the first one that came into my head. Like this program is this legit? Sorry. You guys were not watching it before, huh?
Before
sorry.
what?
Did you guys see?
Now we are.
Now we see it.
I'm so sorry.
We think you're still searching for it, and we're just waiting. They're really young.
These are the fact checker.
Yes.
Wow. They're small.
Yeah. I think in this age they realize this is pretty good.
Yeah. And what they have done is they created this team of teen fact checkers. So now they're fact checking a lot of stuff on YouTube as well. So check them out. They're really cool. And this project was funded by one of the projects, the grants that we were offering to the community. So this project is a direct thing that was developed through one of our grant programs, which is really, really, really cool. So that's.
How long have them been established? Do you know? Is it recent years or is it many years?
It's maybe 6 or 7 months, that program. It's very new. It's very new. It's very new.
Okay.
It's very.
We'll go check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more questions?
I want to ask, you guys have been doing a lot in checking the fact, but how do you spread it to the public and to the older adults or the one that is more hard to believe in the true things?
They are more hard to convince. Yeah.
It's not easy to convince people. Okay, let's think about what fact checking is. Imagine yourself as a fact checker. Why are you fact checking something?
I thought it was not right.
That it does not look right, right?
Yeah, and it's harmful it will get a bad impact.
Exactly. So at the right at the beginning, as a fact checker, you are against whatever that person is saying, right?
Yeah.
So people think that fact checker, this is my personal opinion. Yeah. People think the act of checking shows that you're against the way they are thinking, right? Because the act of checking shows an opposition to their truth, to what they believe in. So this creates a problem. This is the first issue that I believe needs to be fixed before we can move on. A fact checker is not there to be in opposition to what you believe or what you hold true to, but is to bring light and understanding to what you are, what you believe to be true to. So, for example, this is a very personal example. My grandfather, I'm not sure if you know Turkey, like I don't know Taiwan. So in Turkey, there is a religious figure, the head religious figure, right? He is appointed by the presidency of Turkey to that position.
Yeah.
During Ramadan, which is a holiday where Muslims fast, Muslims are supposed to recite and read the Quran loudly with the public. So, there are a lot of singing competitions on TV, right? I'm sure you have it in Taiwan as well. So in Turkey, they made a show on reading the Holy Book, right? So when they're reciting the Holy Book, it sounds like they're singing at the same time. So there was a show of trying to pick who is the best reciter of the Holy Book, right? And the head imam said, this is not right. We should not be promoting these types of entertainment. Religion is a personal issue. It is an individual issue. We should not be promoting this. So I told my grandfather, Grandpa, this is what the religious guy said, who was appointed by the president, who was another religious guy. And my grandfather is a very religious guy as well. He said, no, he definitely not said that. He would not say it. He would not go against the president of Turkey. And then a few minutes later, the president of Turkey went onto the TV and he said, some people think that this TV show is not good, referring to the ministry religion, right? Yeah. And then my grandfather turned to me and said, you were right. This is what you're trying to combat. The people really believe more in their leaders than what they believe themselves. It's not easy to break this cycle. It's not easy to break this cycle. What's going to break the cycle is media literacy programs in schools, is what you guys are trying to do. And if there are programs like this in schools, it allows more critical thinking, more critical approach to life. It's not about, you can be on the right of the political spectrum. You could be a conservative, you could be a leftist. Doesn't matter. The conservative, just because it's a conservative doesn't mean he's not right. There's a lot of points where conservatives are absolutely correct. And it goes both ways. So being able to develop this is very important. And I'm not sure if there's a clear way of doing this. There are several components. Media literacy is one. Organizations like us trying to promote transparency and nonpartisanship is another. Social media platforms are already trying to fix the misinformation on their social media, but it is backfiring. It is the backfire effect. As I was saying before, that we're in opposition. Now people are saying Facebook is censoring this, censoring that. So there's that backfire effect right there. When Facebook and Twitter are trying to do these things, they're doing it in ways where I don't want to talk about. I mean, I have problems with that as well. But nevertheless, the same example is there. So tech companies are doing their best to combat misinformation, and they work with the people who are signatories to the IFCN Code of Principles.
So that is another reason. You guys too?
We don't work with them. They work with the organizations that work with us.
So
we work with Facebook on different levels. But Facebook works with the organizations list that I showed you before. If they want to combat the misinformation in their country, they reach out to the organization who is verified by us before they work with them. They don't work with anybody else.
And why so many people say that they are still not doing good in fact checking?
Oh.
It's, you know what it is? It's more political.
Oh,
it's more political because they have blocked Donald Trump. They had blocked several world leaders. Another issue is how big these tech companies are in the country. They're becoming a monopoly. They're becoming very stronger. There are a lot of small businesses, a lot of small tech companies are going out of business because Facebook is buying everybody. Facebook bought Instagram, Facebook bought WhatsApp, Oculus, CrowdThing, all this, that. Google does the same, Twitter does the same, everybody's doing the same. So there's a lot of issues there anyway. A lot of problems there anyway.
Yeah.
So that's how I would answer that.
Yeah, good. Awesome. So it's like you make them believe what they believe is true.
Hopefully. I mean, it's not...
the first step.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that we break their approach to issues and see it differently in a sense. We hope being transparent. We hope being transparent about our process will show the reader that we are trying our best to be who we are, as open as we can, so you can understand where the fact checker is coming from, and so this way there's a trust built between the reader and the organization. That's what we're trying to do here at IFCN the most, building a trust between the reader and then the organization they're reading, the content they're reading it from.
So it sounds like when readers start to doubt the fact they're reading, and it's like, oh, we're here, so you can check the one you are reading is right or not.
Exactly. Even if they believe in the Taiwan Fact Check Center, right? Let's say you read Taiwan Fact Check Center every day. Let's say, and then one day you came across something that was wrong, right? And you're shocked. Oh my God, why did Taiwan Fact Check Center do this? Why? What is going on?
Yeah.
Most people don't do anything about it, but there's the complaints policy allows individuals to complain to the organization. Hey guys, what's going on? This is wrong. Here's the sources for that. You know what I mean? So it creates this relationship between the reader and the organization as well.
Okay.
Guys, I have another meeting in 5 minutes. I talk too much, but I could take one more question if that's okay.
Okay, last question from me. I want to ask, as we are a small team, do you have any ideas that we can spread the media literacy to the college students? Like what we can really do? Because there are so many resources, but it's hard for us to make it practical. Right.
Like, for example, I think, how many schools are you guys working in?
Now we are all from different schools, so maybe 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is great. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out there for organizations like you. Like I said, go contact Taiwan Fact Check Center because it's the closest one for you. My advice is to work with them and see what they offer students is the first thing, and ask them, what do you think you can do in your schools to promote media literacy programs? My advice to you is to find a professor in your schools that would support your ideas, that would help you with building such types of events or webinar series to be able to educate your fellow classmates. Maybe you might have to work with I don't know if you have clubs in your schools. We have clubs in our schools. Like there might be a journalistic club in your school. Maybe you should, get in contact with them and see what they're up to. The sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. Just talk to one person. Like you talk to me today. Now you're gonna talk to another person. You're gonna get more ideas. Everything's gonna stop flowing.
Okay, we'll go.
We can find a professional and help us.
Exactly.
We'll connect them.
And eventually you will become professional beggars like I am.
Hope one day and we can attend the seminar you have.
Hopefully.
If we got difficulties connecting them, is it okay we ask for your help?
Absolutely. You could always you could always reach out to me, and I could help you connect with people who you want to be connected with.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for everything today. So let's make a quick and can we take a picture of you with us?
Go ahead.
Okay.
And are you going to share this somewhere?
We'll use it for promotion on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Is that okay?
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Okay, I think Mark will take the picture.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for having us.
Have a
Very
good day.
inspiring. Yes.
That's good to hear. I appreciate that. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
guys.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.